Hi, welcome to Roy's Game Table. Today we have game 3 of our best of 3 of Iron Man Justice versus Klaw Expert. So pull up a chair and let's see how the match finishes. That's right, the final match of this best of 3 between Iron Man Justice and Expert Klaw. If you haven't seen the first 2 games, you can hit the I at the top of the screen to go and watch those 2 games to see how they turned out if you're interested, or you can hang around to watch the game. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with this third and final match. I've got everything set up. Got the 2 side schemes in play like I'm supposed to. Melter was the minion that came out. It was the first card discarded, and I had shuffled the deck and everything. Melter's the one that we had. And my starting hand is right here of 6, so I'm going to look and see if I want to mulligan. I'm definitely going to take these 3 and discard them because I'm looking for upgrades. So I'm going to go ahead and discard those. I want to keep Rocket Boots. I think I want to keep Stark Tower because I can use that to pull an upgrade back out. And I think I'll keep Under Surveillance because it's unlikely I'm going to be able to flip on this first turn. And that'll give me some breathing space on the main scheme. I know it's risky to stay as Tony Stark too long against Klaw, but I do have this Under Surveillance. So I'm going to keep these 3 cards and draw back up to 6. All right, not a very good draw there in my opinion. I wanted to see some more upgrades, but I didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and use his ability to discard 3 cards. Let's see what we get. And, all right, well, it doesn't really matter. I'll probably just use one of these as resources, so I'll just take that Repulsor Blast. And I think I will go ahead and put Under Surveillance in on the main scheme, using Repulsor Blast and First Aid because I don't need to heal yet. So using those 2 resources, I'm going to put Tony Stark Stark Tower into play using War Machine and Rocket Boots. And then I'm going to pull Rocket Boots back out of the discard pile, sorry about that, with Stark Tower. And I really would like to hold on to this emergency for the next round, but I don't want to keep 2 cards and I want to get an upgrade in. So I'm going to go ahead and put this upgrade in, the Rocket Boots with Emergency. And then I guess that'll be it. I'll ready up and draw back up to 6. All right, before we go into the main phase, these Rocket Boots give me a hit point. So I'm going to go from 9 up to 10. And then we're going to put 2 threat on the main scheme because we have an acceleration token in. As you know, we've got Immortal Klaw still in the game. And then he's going to scheme for 2. And the bonus, give the villain a tough status card, okay? So I'll do that. I'd rather do that than give him an extra threat right now. So he only schemes for 2, and that brings the main scheme up to 4. And then Melter will scheme for 1, so it's up to 5. So even if we wouldn't have the Under Surveillance on, it wouldn't advance at this point, but we still have room for 6 more threat on this main scheme. And maybe less if this is an advance. The encounter card is Sound Manipulation. Klaw heals 4 damage. If no damage healed this way, this card gains Surge. So it will Surge because he wasn't healed. So the new card is Assault. So it's going to have to Surge because I'm an alter ego. The new card is Masters of Mayhem. Each Master of Evil minion attacks the hero it is engaged with, which it can't because he's an alter ego. So that means that I have to search the encounter deck and discard pile for Masters of Evil minion and put it into play, engaged with me. I'm going to go in and look for Whirlwind, put him into play, and then I'll shuffle the deck. All right, there's Whirlwind. And I'll shuffle the deck and we'll go back to Tony Stark. All right, back to Tony Stark. I'm going to go ahead and start off with his ability. By the way, Whirlwind comes in with 6 hit points. So I'm going to discard 3 cards and keep 1. All right, I'm going to keep the Power Gauntlets and discard these 2. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and put Nick Fury in using Repulsor Blast, Power Gauntlets, Daredevil, and Under Surveillance, those 4 cards. And when he comes in, I'm going to have him deal 4 damage to Whirlwind, dropping him down to 2. Okay, and he'll come in with 3 hit points. And then I'll go ahead and attack him to go ahead and just knock him out of the game. All right, and then I'll have Stark Tower come and bring power gauntlets out, and I'll put in those powered gauntlets with these other 2 tech upgrades, the other power gauntlets and the rocket boots. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip. And then I'm going to thwart for 2 off of this side scheme over here. Drop it down to 1. And that's all I can do. And then I'll ready and draw up to 3. Okay, start the main phase. I'm going to put 2 threat back on. So it's going to go from 5 to 7. And then he's going to attack, but I'm going to have Nick Fury take that. So he's going to attack for 1 and just 2, 3. So a total of 3. And we saw an advance. That's good. And then I'm going to have Iron Man take the 3 damage from Melter, dropping in from 10 to 7. All right. And then the encounter card will be Business Problems. Good. I will flip. I'll just go ahead and flip to Tony Stark and exhaust. And that's not actually good, but I mean, it's better than an advance coming out and advancing the main scheme or an attack that hits him again. So that's what I meant. Anyway, back to Iron Man. Okay, since I'm on Tony Stark's side, I'm going to start by discarding 3 cards. I'll keep Quake and discard these other 2. And then I'm going to exhaust Tony Stark Tower to take up the top tech upgrade, which were my powered gauntlets. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put Quake in using Supersonic Punch and Pepper Potts. Or I'm sorry, Supersonic Punch and the other under surveillance for 2. She'll come in with 2 hit points. I'm going to actually have her thwart for 1 to get rid of this side scheme, so that hopefully next turn I can start doing some thwarting if I need to, because I'm going to need to, because this will be advancing, because I think I'm going to have to stay as Tony Stark. And I hate to do it, but I'm going to keep the power gauntlets in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and discard. I hate to discard this, but right now I need to try to get some upgrades in. I know I have a rocket boots in here for hand size, so I think I'm just going to do that. Hold on to this, and then ready up and draw up to 6. Okay, start of the main phase. We put 2 threat on the main scheme, so that's going to bring it up to 9, from 7 to 9, and then it's a total of 10 threat right now because of the under surveillance. And then he is going to scheme for 2, 3, 4. All right, and so that's going to make it advance. So we'll take all this off. So the main scheme will advance, and under surveillance comes back, and we got to discard cards until we get a minion. So we'll do that. Oops. And it's a weapons runner, and again, this will not surge because he comes out, he got discarded and put into play. I say that every time, but I mainly say it to remind myself that in this situation, he doesn't surge, but that is the case. So he will come in, will flip, and so Klaw scheme, now these 2 will scheme, and they'll put 2 threat on the main scheme, and even if I draw it advance, I should be okay this turn, but I'm going to have to do something next turn or the game will be over already. So the encounter card is going to be advance, of course. It's going to be advance, and he'll scheme for 2, 3, 4. So it's going to bring it up to 6. And just like that, we've got 6 out of 8 on the second scheme, but both advances are in the discard pile now, and I'm going to have to do something as Tony Stark, but I think I got a plan. I think I can do it. And by the way, when I forgot to use Quake's ability then. It's after a minion schemes, exhaust Quake, deal 2 damage to that minion. So before I go any further, I'm going to exhaust her to deal 2 damage to this weapons runner because he did scheme, and that will knock him out of the game. All right, now let's move on to Tony Stark. All right, I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and use his power to discard 3 cards. And I am going to keep the energy that's right here, and then discard these two, and then use Start Tower to pull Mark 5 armor back out. So now I've got these 8 cards here. All right, so let's start getting stuff into play. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do is put the Mark 5 armor into play. And I'm going to use energy and power of justice for 2/3 to pay for that. And that will give him 6 hit points, giving him 13. Bumping him up to 13. And then I'm going to use, I'm going to put Arc Reactor into play using Genius. And then I'm going to put my Mark 5 helmet into play using Counterintelligence. I won't be able to put in the Power Gauntlets this turn, but I hope I'll be able to do it next turn. All right, and I really need to get some threat removal here, so I'm going to go ahead and flip to Tony. And I'm going to thwart for 2, 3 to get rid of this Immortal Claw, and that will drop him down from 28 to 18, and only 1 threat now will be placed at the beginning of the main scheme and not more. And I'm not too worried about the main scheme, because I know both advances are in the discard pile, and I don't think there's any way for him to scheme outside of those when I'm in hero form. So I'm in good shape, because I'm going to use the Arc Reactor to ready Iron Man and thwart for 2 to drop this from 6 back down to 4. So I think I should be okay there. And then I'll just go ahead and have this Power Gauntlet attack for 1 to drop Melter down to 4. I'll ready, and I'll draw up to my new hand size, which is a hand size of 6. Okay, and we run out of cards, so I'll deal myself an encounter card, and I'll shuffle up and go into the main villain phase. Okay, start of the main villain phase. We put 1 threat on the main schemer, brings up to 5. He's going to attack, but Quake's taking that, and he will attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll knock her out of the game. And then I'll just have Melter hit Iron Man for 3, bringing him down to 10. And then I've got to deal myself an encounter card, and I hope I can survive this. I hope I should be able to. We'll see what happens. It is attached to Claw. Claw gains Retaliate 1. Okay, so I'll put that there. And then Master Plan. So I got to place 4 threat on each side scheme. I'm going to have to discard cards until I get a side scheme. And I think there is one in here. But we'll discard cards until we get a side scheme. Yep, Illegal Arms Factory, there we go. And that will come into play with 4 threat. All right, so it is back to Iron Man. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do is use Stealth Strike, and I'm going to play the Power of Justice for 2 and followed for 3 to deal 4 damage to an enemy, and then if I defeat that enemy, I can remove 2 threat from a scheme. So I'm going to hit Melter here and take him out of the game, and because that defeats him, I can remove 2 threat from scheme. I'll remove it from here, drop that down to 1. All right, and then just to be safe, in case I need to flip for some reason, I'm going to go ahead and put Counterintelligence in this time with Strength, and I'll hold on to this for the next time. Hopefully I can get my Power Gauntlet in. I will go ahead and use the Power Gauntlet for 1 damage. No, I won't, because I don't want to take Retaliate damage. So I will hold on to that for now. That's not really bothering me too much, but I'm going to go ahead and thwart for 2 to get rid of this side scheme. And then I'm going to ready Iron Man and thwart for 2, 3, to drop this from 5 down to 2. And he does have 10 health. I think I'll be okay. So we're going to go ahead and stay as Iron Man 1 more turn, ready up, and then draw back up to 6. Okay, start of the main phase. We're going to put 1 threat on, so I'll bring it from 2 up to 3. And then he will attack, and I'll just have Iron Man take this. He has 10 hit points. He'll attack for 1, 2, 3. And if this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. So it's going to do 3 damage, down to 7. And unfortunately, it will exhaust my hero. And then I'll deal myself the encounter card. And when I do that, you immediately have to shuffle. So an acceleration token will come on here, and I will reshuffle the encounter deck. All right, and the encounter card is Shadow of the Past, which is not what I wanted to see. So that will bring in Whiplash. And it will bring in his side scheme. And we'll shuffle these other three cards back into the deck. So give me a chance to do that. That is very unfortunate. All right, and so Shadow of the Past goes in the discard pile. Whiplash comes in with 4 hit points. And that was our encounter card. Oh, and Imminent Overload. The side scheme comes in with 4 threat. And so now we've got another side scheme to deal with, but it is back to Iron Man. All right. I know I want to put in Nick Fury. I've been thinking about, I thought about doing it anyway. It was just for something different, but I'm going to put him in. And I'm going to pay for it with the 4 cards I have here. And then when he comes into play, I'm going to have him do his 4 damage to go ahead and knock Whiplash out of the game. So we don't have to worry about him. And Nick Fury will come in with 3. And then I'm going to have Nick Fury thwart for 2, but I'm going to have him do it on the main scheme to bring that down to 1. And then I'm going to thwart with my Mark 5 helmet on the main scheme for 1. Okay, and then I'm going to have Arc Reactor ready Iron Man and have him thwart for 2 on the main scheme to drop it down from 4 to 2. And then, you know, I did it off the main scheme to get it as low as possible. I know that 3 threats going to come in, which means if for some reason I draw an advance on the encounter phase, and knowing my luck I will, but if I draw an advance, he could scheme at 5 and I could lose the game. So I wanted to get that as low as possible, but there was just no way for me to get this under 3 and to get rid of this at the same time. So I'm gonna have to get a little bit lucky on the card I draw, but surely I won't get advanced, but we'll see what happens. I'll ready and draw up to 6. Okay, start the main villain phase. I put 3 threat on. 1 for the regular one, 1 for the acceleration, and 1 for the side scheme. He's going to attack, but Nick Fury is going to take this for 1, 2, and so just for 2, and there's an advance. That's good. It comes out as a boost. So that'll take Nick Fury out of the game, and then the encounter card is going to be, oh no, the Masters of Evil. And so another side scheme comes in. When revealed, discard cards from the counter deck until a Master of Evil minion is discarded and put him into play. So, all right. Discard cards, and there's a Master of Evil. If I'm going to see any of them, that's the one I want to see, because he's really just nothing but 2 attack and 6 hit points. Nothing else real special with him. And the side scheme comes in with 3 threat. So now it is back to Tony Stark. Okay, start of Iron Man's turn, and I think I'm going to go ahead and thwart for 2, 3 to get rid of this side scheme here, the Masters of Evil side scheme, and then I'm going to have the Art Reactor ready Iron Man and thwart for 2 more to get rid of this other side scheme. So I've finally got those out of the way, and then I think my best play is put Daredevil in using these 4 resources. So again, I won't be maybe someday I'll get these power gauntlets in, but I want to do it because I need some help with thwarting. I'm having a hard time keeping everything under control, all the stupid side schemes coming out. But Daredevil will come in with 3. I'm going to have him thwart for 2, and that'll drop the main scheme down to 1. And then And then I'll have the damage, I'll just have it dealt to Klaw to knock this tough off. It won't retaliate because it's not an attack from Daredevil, it's just part of his ability. And then I'll ready up and draw back up to 6. Okay, start of the main phase. I gotta put 2 threat on, so it'll bring it up to 3. And then I'm gonna have Klaw attack, but I'm actually gonna have Iron Man defend this. I don't usually like to defend with Iron Man, but I don't want to lose Daredevil yet. So hopefully this won't be too bad. So he's gonna attack for 1, 2, 3, 4. -1 is 3. So I'll drop Iron Man down to 4. Okay, and then I'll just have Iron Man take the 2 from Whirlwind, dropping him down to 2. And there is a card that can cause me to lose here if it comes out, but maybe it won't. The encounter card is, and it is the exact card I thought could take me out, take 2 damage. Klaw heals 2 damage. So Iron Man drops to 0, it doesn't matter. And that's the game. I knew that card was going to come out. The whole deck, the entire deck I have there, and only one card could have cost me the game, and it was exactly the one that came out. And I almost took it back, took back what I did before I drew the encounter card. I almost took back Iron Man taking the 2 damage from Whirlwind and just having Daredevil blocked because I thought this card was going to come out, and sure enough, it came out. So there you have it, folks. I lose my last game, as you can see. So I lost the best of 3. I win the middle game, I lose the first and third game. And, you know, I don't know what to tell you. That's what happens. I mean, if nothing else, you can maybe resign yourself to the fact that if you lose on expert mode, at least there's always somebody out in the world that's worse than you are, because I seem to always only lose on camera. If I were to play this game off camera, I guarantee you I would win, because I'm telling you, I've won a lot of games with Iron Man Justice against Klaw Expert, but that doesn't matter to you. You've only seen the ones I've played on camera, and I've lost 2 out of 3 now. And the stupid sound manipulation, the only card that could have beat me that turn, comes out, and it's what beats me. Well, Advance might have, but you know, whatever. That's the game. I hope you enjoyed it, at least what you got to see of it. And so if you did enjoy this game, please consider to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell for any future videos we have coming out. I do have more Marvel Champions videos coming out in the future and playthroughs, but I have other games I'm going to be doing as well. So hit the notification bell for anything else that may come. And thank you for watching. And until next time, I'll save you a seat at the table.